So, are you and your little ones going on a road trip this summer or this year? And your child may be having some type of sensory challenge and you're like, I don't know how this road trip is gonna go, or my child doesn't sit that long in a car, or the child definitely has a hard time with car rides. This is a video just for you. You're gonna want to stick around while I explain to you 7 different strategies that you can implement to help with those long car rides. Tip number 1, you definitely want to have some type of sensory friendly seating. And what I mean by that is make sure that wherever you're seating your child, their car seat, the cushions, all of that is comfortable for them. Nobody likes it, including you. Nobody likes it going on a car ride and it's so uncomfortable, or the seats are so hard, or the seatbelt is way too tight. Whatever the case may be, make sure that the child is in some comfortable seating, even if you have to provide additional blankets or cushions to increase their comfort. And also make sure their posture is correct, because if their posture is incorrect in their car seat, that may also lead to discomfort, which will make the car ride a lot harder for them. Keep in mind the seating that you will be using for this car ride of yours. Tip number 2 is to make sure that the car ride is going to be very calming, or as calming as it possibly could be. So for example, if you have a child that is easily stimulated or easily overwhelmed with too much sensory input, you may want to think about how you can make your car as less cluttered as possible, decrease as much of the visual input as possible and that auditory or noise as possible. So this may look like you purchasing window shades for your child's windows in the back seat. It may look like you purchasing noise canceling headphones for your child. It may look like you playing softer music or quiet music in the car ride, or some of the nature sounds in the car. Whatever you need to do to make sure that the environment is calming and soothing. Also, be aware of the smells that are in your car, right? If you have very strong air fresheners, sometimes that may be a little bit too much for your child. So make sure if you're gonna use something or a type of scent in your car, make sure it's something that's more calming and relaxing and not so alerting for your child's sensory system. The third tip is to bring along some type of sensory toys for your child to engage with. So you may want to bring along some type of squishy ball or textured toys or fidget toys, something that your child can play with and manipulate in their hands that will kind of help them stay busy, but also help meet their sensory needs while you guys are on this car ride. The fourth tip is to plan some sensory breaks along this road trip of yours or in the car ride. So you want to plan some regular stops that you're going to be making in order to allow the child to have time to get out of the car, get some fresh air, use the bathroom, stretch their legs, maybe run back and forth, or whatever the case may be. You're gonna definitely want to take some breaks if you're planning on taking an extended car ride with your child. Now the fifth tip depends on your child's cognitive level and their age, right? So if your child is at an age where they're old enough to understand what's going on and they're a little bit anxious about it, some things that may be helpful are visual supports. So what I mean by visual supports are things such as like a schedule or a visual activity book that kind of shows and helps to map out what the child can expect, right? So at 8 o'clock, we're gonna be in the car. At 9:15, we're going to take a break. At 11 o'clock, we're gonna go to breakfast. Whatever the case may be, right? You may want to print out a visual schedule. You may want to have some pictures on your phone that you can kind of swipe and show your child what's to expect or what's coming up next. Also, timers are very helpful, especially for those kids who are very anxious. Using a timer to kind of help that child understand when the timer goes off, this is what's happening, will kind of help to reduce some of that anxiety when it comes to those long car rides. The sixth tip for long car rides with your kids is probably my favorite tip, and that is bringing along some type of snacks, right? You want to provide some crunchy snacks, you want to provide some chewy snacks, because that's going to give your child a lot of input to the mouth, which can be very regulating. You can also provide some water and make sure that water is in like a cup that has like a straw or like one of those sports bottles that takes a lot more effort to sip out of, because that's also going to be very regulating for your child as well. So plan ahead carefully with the types of snacks and drinks that you bring along for the car ride. But you don't want to give them too much because you don't want to be pulling over to have to use the bathroom every 5 minutes. And my 7th tip for long car rides with kids, especially those that may have some type of sensory challenge, is to bring along a tablet. I know sometimes, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? And sometimes tablets are not all bad, right? Your tablet could have some very educational learning videos on them. It could have some fun learning games and activities for your child on there. You could also have some audiobooks playing on your tablet. So sometimes bringing a tablet is going to help save the trip, right? So don't be afraid to bring along a tablet for this car ride if necessary. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope these 7 tips were helpful and hope you enjoyed that car ride that you're going to be taking with your child and with your loved ones over the summer and for the year. If you have any further questions, leave them in the comments below. If you want to continue to learn more about early childhood, please subscribe to my channel. Make sure your notification bell is on so that every time I upload a video, you will be notified. And until next time, guys, bye.